Good morning, Commissioners. This is the April 8th, 2014 public hearing. Chair Tierney.
Here.
Commissioner Bland. Here. Commissioner Chapin is here. Commissioner Devonshire. Here. Commissioner Gerner. Commissioner Goldblum. Commissioner Moore. Commissioner Perlmutter. Commissioner Ryan. Commissioner Washington.
Okay, item number 1 is an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Manhattan, docket number 13-4602, block 696, lot 65, 210 11th Avenue, in the West Chelsea Historic District, a Gothic Revival style factory building designed by Sharon Kaufman and built in 1910 to 1911. This is an application to establish a master plan governing the future replacement of windows. This was read into the record on March 18th and is being presented for the first time today.
Located at the southwest corner of 11th Avenue and West 25th Street. This application proposes to establish a master plan governing the replacement of windows at all facades of the building. The replacement will include new windows and also through window louvers at designated bays. The historic windows at the two street facades are a combination of segmental headed windows and also straight headed windows.
Yeah, I know. Is this her only item?
As can be seen in to the left here, this is the historic tax photo, and this is an interior shot of a space within the building.
How many years?
The historic windows, some of which are still extant at both the street facades here and also at the secondary facades, which are visible from the street. At the two street facades, the windows are a combination of straight-headed and segmental arch-headed windows in a 3/3 and 2/2 configuration. And at the two secondary facades, they are also a combination of 3/3 and 2/2. The historic operation at the street facades are actually pivot windows, both at the upper sash and the lower sash. And at the secondary facades, they are double hung. So this is the 11th Avenue facade, and on the left is the current condition. You can see that some of the historic windows are extant. These are actually hollow metal windows. The proposal is on the right-hand side, and as you can see, all the windows will be replaced with the historic configuration. However, these windows at both 11th Avenue and also at West 25th Street, the operation will be changed from the double pivot upper and lower to a fixed upper and a hopper lower. And as you can see also, there will be installation of full through window louvers within these two bays at a single sash within the bay. At the two secondary facades, this is the south facade. At this facade and also at the east facade, you will see that the windows again will be replaced with windows that have the historic configuration, but these windows will also have a different operation. The historic operation is double hung. These will be changed to casement. And at both of these facades, one of the bays will be devoted to a full through window louver. Here are elevations
Okay, hearing open, please. Motion second. For anything you want to add to that, or if any questions? Thank you.
I'm Neil Schwartz with Michael Zinner Architects. If anyone has any questions.
Marjorie?
Could you talk about the profiles? They're quite different from the original.
Which profiles, I'm sorry?
Well, if you can just look at any of them, the sections are quite different in terms of what the final profile.
Well,
Will
the profiles for the Muntins were duplicated with what we can get, sort of a, what the manufacturer of the window was able to produce without the,
Well, what do you mean by duplicated? What was duplicated?
well, which profile?
Well, I mean, if you just look at any dimension, so for instance, the existing frame to remain, you're covering with, which was, I don't know what the dimension was, but you're covering it with something that's, if these are in the same scale, then the dimensions are extremely different between the original frame and the proposed.
We had to build the proposed frames out a little bit and cover up the existing frames since we're not removing the metal frames. The metal frames, we wanted to keep this part, this vertical element. We don't want to disturb any of the mullions on the windows, and those are tied into the frames, so we don't want to remove the frames, or else we're going to have a lot of issues with reopening and not be able to keep that muntin in place. So we don't want to disturb that historic fabric, and we had to build it out a little bit to just to get the windows in.
And the relationship between the glazing and the sill is different? It's in a different plane? Right? Looks like,
Sorry.
it's almost like the drawings are flipped. I mean, the location of the glazing and the sill is very different in the proposed, between the proposed and the existing.
Yeah, it's slightly different due to where we had to push the window back at the top of the frame. We can probably adjust that. But it's
Further questions? Okay, I'm going to go to testimony and come back in a moment. Barbara? Zay, please.
Good morning, Barbara Zay of the Historic Districts Council. Given that the existing steel windows are quite bulky, the aluminum replacements, which very closely replicate the look of historic windows, represent a step in the right direction. HDC thanks the applicant for taking care in finding the right window with muntins that match the originals to improve the building's appearance, and finds the aluminum material to be appropriate in this industrial setting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other testimony? Anything further to add? That's it? Okay. Yeah.
Well, it appears as if keeping the original frames is a very sensible thing to do, not just an expedient thing to do because of the detailing on the outside of the building. I guess that, therefore, has somewhat added, but in my view, very little, minimally added to the dimension of the elevation, let's say, of what you're going to see. It is true that the profiles have changed a little bit. But again, I think all things being equal, this is, the details seem to work. The hopper, the operation of the windows is very different, but I'm not sure that that's a critically important thing when we're looking at an upgrade of based on energy and other kinds of things for this building. So all in all, I think I can go along with the HDC and approve it.
Okay, Michael?
I can as well. I mean, there are some minor details that I think are worthy of modification, but I think in general this is an appropriate approach.
Marjorie?
Yeah, I think it's appropriate to replace them, and the operation makes sense.
I would just ask that the applicant work with the staff very closely, because I do think there's a lot of movement in the profile design. For instance, the Muntin design is completely different, and maybe there's a way to shave off some of the thickness of the frame. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's moving in the right direction and restoration of a more historic profile in general. And I agree with other speakers that we should, that as far as the air conditioning and the hopper, that's fine. And then it would just work with the staff on any minor
Okay.
details to make it as close as possible. to the
Okay. Agreed, and when we have a sixth person or seventh, sixth and seventh, whatever, we will act in a quorum. Can't act now, but we'll put it on, we'll close the hearing and, for the moment and come back to it. Motion second, thank you. Okay. You seconded yourself. Okay,
Okay,
yes.
We're now going to go back to item number 1, which was an application for a certificate of appropriateness, docket number 13-4602. It's 210 11th Avenue in the West Chelsea Historic District, a Gothic Revival style factory building designed by Shire and Kaufman and built in 1910 to 1911. And this is an application to establish a master plan governing the future replacement of windows.
Okay, we're going back to, yeah.
This application is for the establishment of a master plan to replace windows. And the replacement of windows will be both with windows that match the historic material and also the historic configuration. Some of the historic windows extend at both the street facades and also the visible secondary facades. And in addition to replacing windows with new windows, there will also be a replacement of windows with through window louvers. So this is the 11th
We had
Avenue
5.
facade, and as you
Okay.
can see, some of the
We had
historic
5,
windows are
4.
extant. So the new windows will have the same configuration. However,
we
at
already-
both the street facades and
Yeah.
also the secondary visible facades, the operation of the windows will change. At the street facades, the operation will change from double upper and lower pivot windows to a fixed upper sash and a lower hopper window. And also you will see that these are, two of the bays will have through window louvers. At the secondary facade, there will also be through window louvers. And the operation of these windows, which were historically double hung, will now be casement.
Okay, and we had testimony and discussed this with consensus of 5 to approve before, we had the quorum before you were here, Joan and Roberta. Okay, Roberta. Okay, yep. So we'll close the hearing. Rita, don't go away, please, because I think we'll close the hearing first, then we'll do this in a moment. But I want to salute Rita Wong for her, unfortunately, her final presentation here at LPC in a short, relatively short, as these things go, 3+ years, 3.5 years, tenure of, and what you've just presented both times exemplifies the quality of your work and the ability, what you bring to this room and to the staff week in, week out. So I'm very, bittersweet, I guess is the right word, but we will miss you and your abilities, your talent, everything you have brought to this agency in a relatively short time. So sorry to have this, I'm glad you came back for the rerun here, because it gave me the opportunity to do this. So, and with that, Marjorie, please, if you do number 1.
In the matter of a certificate of appropriateness for 210 11th Avenue, also known as 210 to 218 11th Avenue, 564 to 568 West 25th Street in the West Chelsea Historic District. The application is to establish a master plan governing the future replacement of windows. I recommend approval, finding that the proposed windows will match the historic windows in terms of configuration and material, that the change in operation to a lower hopper sash will maintain a reference to the historic pivoting sashes and will be a consistent feature throughout the windows at both street facades. that the proposed casement operation of the windows at the secondary facades will be consistent with the historic change in window operation at these locations, that the proposed window replacement will help return the facades closer to their original appearance, that the proposed through-window louvers will be installed at the same plane as the sash, and that their location will form a regular pattern of installations at the north, south, and east elevations, that the proposed window and louver finish will be in keeping with the historic color palette of buildings of this age, style, and this type, style, and age, and that full implementation of the proposed window master plan will help to preserve the special architectural character of the building and to unify the facade, provided that the applicant works closely with staff to improve on the details.
Yes. Second, excuse me, second, all in favor? Aye, opposed? Approved. Thank you. And we're going to do a quick rerun of number 2.